Come join Kyle, John and David as they go through what's on the playlist. Find out what's everyone's favourite at Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. We have a few segments, to be honest. In and out points, no celebs and the gossip. Back in time where we're talking about the big M's, coming attractions, what the cue. Quick checks, who'll be laughing? You abundantly. Welcome to Dual Redundancy.
Yes, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television, entertainment news, and Oscar predictions with way too many hosts with exactly the same predictions. We'll see. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is...
John Berwick, and a third one is...
Kyle Bridger. I'm going to say that we are Oppenheimer because we're going to be dropping some bombs tonight. And we're joined by the good, the bad, and the watchable, and I'll give them the anatomy of a fall because I think somebody's going to get murdered, probably.
Yeah. Or they might just jump after how bad their predictions are. We'll see. I don't know. But good and bad and watchable are here. Let's do a roll call. Who's here for the group?
I'm Nick Rojas here.
I'm Nick Boyle.
And I'm Marc DeSisto.
And
yes,
we're the good, the bad,
Of course.
No.
We're the good, the bad,
Of
the
course.
watchable.
Perfect. I love it already.
Nick's so bad.
Yeah. He looks a little bit like Maestro there. You know, he has the arms up, he's going. That's what he's doing, a Bradley Cooper impression. Yes, while we're waiting on Rojas to come back, let's set things up here. We are talking about the 96 Academy Awards tonight, which are going to take place on Sunday, March 10th on ABC. And it's our 7th annual prediction bet against the good, the bad, and the watchable. 7 years. I can't believe it. While it's been often close, we have won all 6 so far. Maybe this is lucky number 7, so maybe this will be the one. It's unlucky 13 for us, their 13th annual Oscar prediction special. So this might be the year for you guys. It was a very busy awards weekend. Just got the Producers Guild, just got the SAG Awards in. Final voting is happening right now for Academy members. It's going to end tomorrow. So there's still, things could change after tonight's podcast, but here's the plan. Tonight we are live on both Twitch and YouTube with John directing the video show that's going to be available on YouTube for playback. And tonight we're predicting the top 8 awards, while the rest will be available in social media posts or on our ballot, which you can find on social media and also dualredundancy.com. And we're also going to have 2 special mini episodes only available on social media for extra predictions as well. So a lot of predictions going to be happening very shortly. And for these top 8, we get 2 points for a will win, 1 point for a dark horse, and then for everything else, 2 points. So that kind of makes it a little interesting. We can, maybe your will win doesn't win. You get that point for a dark horse. You could win by 1, or maybe you need 2 dark horses to win or tie. The math is involved. It makes it very interesting. And then the loser has to watch maybe a Razzie film. That's what we've been doing. Is that what we want to do? We can decide tonight. You guys have been suffering, through Gotti and Hillbilly Elegy, Dear Evan Hansen, I think Pinocchio last year. What do we think? This is the worst picture lineup here. Is there one that jumps out to you guys? I feel like Boyle probably has seen all these already, just for fun.
I've seen 2 of them with Boyle
on the Razzies this year.
Yeah.
Boyle, we saw The Exorcist Believer together, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, we did actually.
Don't make me do that again, Dave.
And
Don't,
I've seen
please.
Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam.
I
Meg
saw
2.
Meg 2.
That's a Marc movie. Yeah, that's a Marc movie. Yeah.
I was actually, I wanted to see the
4.
Winnie and the Pooh. Like, I wanted to see that one.
The Winnie and the Pooh.
2 Winnie, 2 Pooh.
2 Winnie, 2 Pooh. Yeah, it's a sequel. It's coming out next year.
Fast and the Furious presents Winnie and Shobbs or whatever. So that's the group. We can think about it, throughout the pod if one of those is jumping out to us. I initially pitched during our Saltburn review that the losers have to recreate the murder on the dance floor bit from the end. If you know, you know.
Oh my God.
But I don't know. We'll think about which Razzie film it is. Maybe the winner gets to choose which Razzie film the losers have to see. So Kyle, start thinking what we have to give to the good and bad watchable. All right. We got to jump right into this. Last year, we dealt with 2 Hollywood strikes, with AI being a top contention point. And while we support writers and performers, we also don't want computers out of work. So tonight, we have Stephanie here to read off the nominees. And we're going to start off the first one of the night.
Stephanie.
Yep, Stephanie is here with Best Adapted Screenplay.
And the films nominated for the Best Adapted Screenplay are American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
So who's Is Stephanie like your own personal assistant? What?
You don't need to know.
Is that
You don't
Google?
need to
They're on
know.
first name basis.
You don't need to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
She does
okay.
have a little bit of a Helen Mirren Barbie narrator vibe going on, though.
Yeah, she does.
Maybe it's Stephanie Mirren. I don't know. All right, so let's have our guests read off their will win and dark horses first. Where are you guys going for best adapted screenplay?
All right, for best adapted screenplay, we are going to go with. Do you guys want me to start with our will win or dark horse first? Do we like to build it up?
Dealer's choice, whatever you want.
All right. You know what? Look, I think this one's going to be very obvious. I think our will win for this one is Oppenheimer, and rolling the dice on the dark horse, we're going to go American Fiction.
Okay. I mean, you want to explain why those 2 films and why Oppenheimer would the win?
I think this is going to be one of those below the line, just like you can't stop Oppenheimer thing for the most part. So I think this is a category that it's going to pick it up. And I think of all the movies where they were talking about the script of the movie being a good one, American Fiction was one of those movies.
Yeah, I would say so out of the GB dubs, I've seen all the movies. And so I think out of just speaking from seeing it, I actually think it was one of the best ones written, aside from Oppenheimer and stuff. So the crowd was into it the whole time, laughing and into it. I just feel like it was a nice, really well written story. So that's why we went with it as the dark horse.
Yeah, I mean, those are good points. I mean, this is a very competitive group of screenplays. It's even missing Killers of the Flower Moon in there. It didn't make the cut for adapted screenplay. Many thought that Barbie was going to win original and then Oppenheimer win adapted, because, Barbie is original everywhere else, but the Academy actually placed it in adapted, so it really made it a very competitive screenplay category. You went with those 2 films. Kyle, where did we go?
So our dark horse, American Fiction, and our will win, Oppenheimer. So we're on
starting
we're
off
on
like
track
usual.
again.
Yeah. I mean, everything you guys said. Oppenheimer is going to have, I think, a good night at the Oscars, and it really is. It's a true adaptation of a monster book, American Prometheus. It's the Best Picture frontrunner. There's just a lot going for it. And then if you look at American Fiction, I mean, it's a film about writers. I mean, it's within that community. The writers are going to look at a film written about writers for writers. It's all patting themselves on the back. It won the BAFTA. And BAFTA has been matching every year since 2017, except last year, but they've been pretty close with things. So that's where we went. And I do want to talk a little bit about possibly Barbie, because Kyle, you mentioned this, and I agree with you that there could be some Barbie sentiment after the snub. Everyone's talking about with Margot Robbie and of course Greta Gerwig. You want to talk a little bit about that and how that could maybe?
Well, I don't know if it'll impact this category too much, but I just think that in some of the other categories, I think you might see a Barbie win because of that, maybe that backlash, or maybe that, we kind of overlooked this film. So I don't know if so much this category, but other categories, I think Barbie has a real shot at winning because of that.
Yeah. The reason I picked maybe this category is Barbie has a bit of it's a little bit of the Argo factor around it. Argo was, Ben Affleck was snubbed, and then it's okay, let's reward Barbie in another category. And people were obviously very mad that Greta was not nominated for director, and she's not nominated as a producer on Barbie. It's that weird rule of only 3 or 4 producers, but at certain ones, sometimes the director is not nominated. So she's not there either, but she is nominated for screenplay. So it's like, oh, if we want to show Greta Gerwig some love, since she didn't get it for director or for producing Barbie, it's like she did write Barbie. Maybe that's like a third dark horse, maybe. Of like,
but I just also feel like it's a weird category to put Barbie in, like adapted. I know what from like a kid's nighttime play. You know what I mean? It's just so weird.
Well, it is very weird because like you look. I mean, we'll talk about original screenplay in a second, but you have like May December, like obviously original, but it is sort of based on a real life story, even. A situation, there was like direct lines in an interview that were used in the screenplay. And Maestro is based on a person and their life, so it's like this weird thing.
But was that person ever a book or a doll, Dave?
Maybe. I mean, I think if Bradley Cooper is probably definitely going to make a line of dolls for Maestro or anything he can do to just stand out in this for your consideration campaign, but.
Yeah, they got to clear up those rules. They do.
Yeah.
It's every year it's the same thing. Like, this one's in there. Like, yeah, it's just wild to me. But guess what? They probably won't fix it, and that's why we love the Academy Awards, guys.
Yeah, and the Writers Guild are absolutely no help this year. They're late to announce nominees, and only 2 of the 5 here are nominated. So 2 of the 5 Oscar nominations received WGA, and that's American Fiction and Oppenheimer. So those are what we got here. The other 3 are not even eligible. So it's like, what are we doing? Let's move to original screenplay. Let's talk about that. Stephanie?
And the films nominated for the best original screenplay are Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives.
All right, Kyle. It's our turn. Where are we going?
So our dark horse, and I really like this movie, is The Holdovers, and our will win is Anatomy of a Fall, which is one of the ones that I have yet to see yet. So Dave might have some more guidance on that, but I really enjoyed The Holdovers. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give a little bit of background. I mean, that's going to be my thing tonight. I'm the numbers, stats, facts guy. Even just outside of all that, the film is, it's a mystery. It's a crime story. It is a trial. And, I think that makes it a compelling screenplay. But then let's look at stats. I mean, Golden Globes, they have a category where all the nominees, adapted and original, are together. And this film won it. It won against Barbie, won against Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Past Lives, Poor Things. It also just recently won the BAFTA, other critics group. So it's been picking up a lot of hardware just across the board for screenplay. We look at Holdovers, got the National Board of Review. It was nominated for the WGA. But yeah, like that's really, I just like the film. I don't see the other ones. You look at it sometimes where it's like May, December, didn't get a picture nom, so like maybe there's not that much love for May December. Kind of like where's the rest of the love? And there was a lot of love for The Holdovers, so that's where I went with that. But where did you guys go?
We did for our will win Anatomy of a Fall and dark horse The Holdovers as well. And I kind of had the same thoughts as you, Dave. Like Anatomy of a Fall was, besides the stats, right, and what it's winning, it was written really nicely where like the flow of the movie I felt was pretty like just you're in it. There was a little dry in the middle, but for the most part, like it was written well and it's intense. And there's, for a court case, like you said, that already, heightens the elements. But then the little boy like the way he was acting was phenomenal. And
the dog should be an app for an Oscar.
Dude, seriously, what a scene, dude. That was heartbreaking. Like I was like, oh my God. But The Holdovers also has a ton of push, so I really think it's going to one of these two. I don't feel the other movies in this category have enough of a push or a momentum to really stand a chance. Truthfully,
I'll say this right now: if The Holdovers wins for Best Original Screenplay, you are looking at your Best Picture for 2024 at the 2023. I think we're talking Parasite, Coda, momentum if it wins this category. I don't think Best Director is that indicator this year. If anything, that might be a Sam Mendes 1917 situation. But I think
they split it and they give Nolan his director one, and
But if Anatomy of a Fall, which I think will win Best Original Screenplay, I think we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, that's it. I think Best Picture is going to be decided on this category.
Good call, Nick.
Bold prediction.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Oppenheimer is such a beast right now, and we'll definitely talk about it when we get to Best Picture. It's going to be hard to beat that, just with all the stats and all the momentum. Because I would say with the holdovers, it's like, yeah, if you have the screenplay, and then it's going to at least win one acting award. Will it win two? And then it's like, okay, we're picking up some stuff here, and those are some big ones to win.
Yeah, but
yeah. It's just,
I always go back to I don't know how this voting goes, but if it's that ranked choice voting, the holdovers was well liked by a wide group of people. I think it could be one of those ones that sneaks in there. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. All right. Let's now move to the supporting acting categories, and we're going to start off with supporting actor.
And the nominees for Best Supporting Actor are Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction; Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon; Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer; Ryan Gosling, Barbie; and Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things.
Okay. I feel like she just gives us a little bit of class on the podcast. A little bit of it heightens it a little bit here. All right, guys, what are your picks?
If we're going, I actually really like this category. I think we're all in agreement that this year, so many strong candidates within this category. So it is kind of tough, I think, between going with your brain versus your heart. So I'm going to start with Dark Horse. We went with Dark Horse of Ryan Gosling as Ken and Barbie. Personal favorite of mine from this year. I thought he was just amazing. But our will win, I think, is the odds-on favorite just across the board. Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer. Just what a performance. Amazing. So, brain says Robert Downey Jr., but, the heart, we're all just Ken. And we want to see Ken get the award, but he's not going to do it. So, Dark Horse there.
Yeah.
All right. That was a great speech. This really is the Dojo Casa house right here. 6 of us or whatever it is. Yikes. Oh, boy. Kyle, where are we going?
So, surprise, surprise, our dark horse is Ryan Gosling, and our will win is Robert Downey Jr.
Whoa.
But I will say, on a personal note, I think Robert Downey Jr. in Killers of the Flower Moon is really, really good.
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro, that's what I meant. Yes, Robert De Niro. Sorry. Yeah. Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon.
I would love to have seen Downey Jr. in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Robert De Niro, sorry. Robert De Niro, he was great in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Agreed.
Very, very good.
I was actually really surprised with De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon. Maybe just his more recent work, but he was spry. He was really he felt younger in Killers of the Flower Moon than from some of his past stuff. It just seemed like he had a lot of just excitement to be doing that project.
It was the accent, Dave. He got to do an accent.
Yeah. maybe that's it. Yeah, this might be one of, I think, 2 locks of the night in the acting categories. I mean, you look at what Robert Downey Jr. has gotten so far. I mean, just BAFTA, Critics' Choice, Golden Globe. I mean, last year it was the comeback story of Kiwi Kwan. Now this year it's the It's Time award for Robert Downey Jr. He's been nominated for Oscars in the past. He's been working forever. The comeback story, Marvel, back to prestige work. This is the story. And I just think he won the SAG over the weekend. It is the weakest of the 4 SAG categories. It's 69% of the time. It works every time kind of thing. Quoting the Anchorman there a little bit. But the last mixed match was 8 years ago. So it's been matching more recently with this here. And you look at the rest of the categories, no one really else is winning awards. So it's who's it going to all of a sudden go to? And that's why, we love Ryan Gosling as Ken and Barbie. It was such a fun performance, a unique performance. Could have been really cheesy, but I think he did something really well with it.
To your point, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you kind of love a character, just, you know, really love how they fit into a movie, or it's a fan favorite, but it's not an award.
Yeah, exactly.
Ironically enough, this feels like Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder sneaking in and get nominated for Best Supporting Actor for that one. Here we are again.
And he lost to Heath Ledger in a Chris Nolan film. So it's like this weird,
time, flat circle.
Great call.
So we're gonna get Ryan Gosling in like some deep, dark, like intense drama one day.
That's how it works.
Yeah, a Nolan movie, you know, what, like 10, 12 years from now. Yeah, perfect. Initially at this category, like, you know, maybe a month or two ago, people were really talking about Charles Melton. Like, he was an early favorite. He was picking up some early awards. He didn't even get the nom for May, December. Willem Dafoe, he missed out. He got the SAG nomination over Ruffalo, but Ruffalo got the Poor Things spot in this category. Personally, I liked Ruffalo with the nomination here for Poor Things. I like Dafoe in Poor Things, but I think it's Ruffalo's performance in that of the two. Just he was doing something really unique and different than what I'm used to seeing Mark Ruffalo do. So,
I wanted to mention that because I thought that his performance was like incredible in Poor Things. I actually didn't think William Dafoe, like, he did good, but like he didn't seem like a supporting actor. Whereas like Mark Ruffalo, I mean, you just watch this man crumble and it's just hysterical. Like, it's just so funny and he does it so well. And we're so used to the Marvel side of him or other little projects he's come out with over the past couple years, which are more dramas. But this was like, I just felt he was in his element. He did a great job in that. So
definitely.
I just am wondering the think pieces around the world. If Ryan Gosling were the only award winner for the movie Barbie, could you imagine the explosion of think pieces? Oh my God.
They were very lucky that America Ferrera was nominated in another category, because if not, it would have been like really the only nomination of the main like 6 that Barbie got. Speaking of Best Supporting Actress, let's move over to that category now.
And the nominees for Best Supporting Actress are Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, America Ferrera, Barbie, Jodie Foster, Nyad, and Davina Joy Randolph, The Holdovers.
All right. Kyle, where are we going?
So our dark horse is going to be Emily Blunt, and our will win. Is it pronounced that the way that the?
Yeah, I think Stephanie screwed up. I think it's Divine.
I think it's Divine too. Divine Joy Randolph. So I think that is our will win, and I'm gonna say I think this one is pretty much locked up.
Yeah, this one I think of the 4. I mean, the Robert Downey Jr. one is pretty locked up. This one is in cement.
Yeah.
This one is like, you know, but then again, we said it last year. Like last year, Angela Bassett, Critics' Choice, Golden Globe. Like, it was going to be her. And then Jamie Lee Curtis won the SAG award. And we're like, uh-oh. Like, what's going on here? And then she wins the Oscar. And Divine also won the BAFTA, every critics group. So she has a little bit more, but she also has the SAG. So she has everything that Angela Bassett and Jamie Lee Curtis had all together. SAG match is 72% of the time. Last miss was 5 years ago with Emily Blunt and Regina King. Emily Blunt won for A Quiet Place. Regina King won the Oscar. That was a weird year. Emily Blunt winning the SAG award for A Quiet Place. But yeah, where are you guys going with this?
So for our dark horse, we actually have a different pick this time, guys.
Ooh.
America Ferrera. We went with that. Playing it safe just in case. That's our insurance plan. But Davine Joy Randolph is going to win Best Supporting Actress this year. Dave, like you were mentioning earlier, this is a lock of the night right here. She was fantastic in The Holdovers. This movie, when you see like trailers for it, Paul Giamatti kind of really stands out. Maybe the kid stands out. And then you leave that movie and you go, that was a 3-headed movie right there. All 3 performances were fantastic. So I had never seen her in something that I remember. Maybe I had seen her in things, but leaving that movie.
Boom.
We lost him. Leaving that movie, He was speechless. That's what happened. He was speechless. Yeah, I will go with our pick of Emily Blunt. Why we went with Emily Blunt is I just think like if it's a big Oppenheimer night, just like it was last year for Everything Everywhere All at Once, like they'll keep giving Oppenheimer the awards. Just like, was Jamie Lee Curtis really the best part of, that category last year for Everything Everywhere? But no, they love that movie. We're giving it to her. And actors love her. Like I said, she won the SAG award for A Quiet Place. So like the acting branch likes Emily Blunt. They like Oppenheimer. Like it's just, and with America Ferrera, I like the idea of the pick. I do wonder, I mean, she has the big monologue moment. I just think it was like such a huge surprise to begin with her. And a lot of people are like, really? Her? Oscar nomination? Yeah. So I just think like, yeah. What, is she funny or something? A little Arrested Development there.
Yeah, I picked up on that. But no, I'm with you. I really think that with Emily Blunt, if a movie gets momentum, it can just start rolling. And with her status, I could see it. I could totally see it. And it could just be a big Oppenheimer night. Like, you don't know. But with American Ferrera, with especially with all the snubs that have happened with Barbie, makes it even more of a long shot. However, same time, they say, we didn't give Barbie enough. Let's throw this one in. So that's kind of our thinking.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Yep.
No, I could definitely see it. I think it's one of those things where it's like it's not going to matter because Divine Joy and Randolph is winning. Like unless something crazy happens, like it's hers. So like the dark horse doesn't really matter as much. But I think it's those three. I don't think if you look at it like Jodie Foster for Nyad, like I don't think there's anything there for that. So it's just you look across the board. It's like okay, it's between those three. But again, Divine Joy and Randolph. And I saw this crazy stat for supporting actor and supporting actress. Those who have swept the 4 awards, SAG, Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, BAFTA, which these two have, they are 19 for 19 at the Oscars. So 100% of the time, they will win the Oscar if they got all 4 of those, and they got all 4 of those. So, like, it'd be really shocking if those guys don't win on Sunday night for the Oscars. But, all right, 2 more acting categories to talk about. Let's talk about Best Actor.
And the nominees for Best Actor are Bradley Cooper, Maestro, Coleman Domingo, Rustin, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction.
All right. Trying to remember whose turn is it? I believe it's the Good and Bad Watchable guys. So where are you going for Best Actor?
Boyle.
Oh, it's my turn? Sorry.
Yes.
All right. So we're going with our, I guess I'll start with Dark Horse. Dark Horse, Paul Giamatti, and the will win Cillian Murphy. Wait, I said that right?
I think it's pronounced Killian.
Cillian Murphy. Sorry. And both just powerhouses. Both deserve the award. And truthfully, I mean, we went Oppenheimer again. It's just I feel like this is just his to take. And I loved that note that came out the other day where he got on his day, like the first day of shooting, Nolan left him a note that like kind of said like this is your lead, this is your chance or something like this is your time. I forgot exactly what it's worded, but it was just so perfect and I couldn't agree more. I mean, he just steals the show. And again, Paul Giamatti, he won one of the award shows. Dave, you'll have to help me out with that. But I really think, it's Murphy's to take, like by all means. What do you guys have?
Well, before you, I just want to say one brief thing. The movie's called Oppenheimer. He's Oppenheimer. It's not called Paulie Holdover. That's my 2 cents. Thank you, guys.
I mean, the movie's called Barbie, and Barbie was it? No, that's a good point. Let's see. So for Giamatti, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. Kyle, we might differ. Where are we going?
Our dark horse is Paul Giamatti, and our will win is Cillian Murphy. Now, personally, I really, really like Cillian Murphy and like pretty much everything he's done. I think he's such a good actor. And Paul Giamatti was fantastic in The Holdovers. I really think this could be more of a toss-up. I think it really could go either way. But I personally, I really, really like Cillian Murphy. I think he's a great actor. I'm always confused of why Paul Giamatti was doing the Scrooge on Verizon commercial. It's like, all these guys, don't you make enough money? Come on.
I don't know. I guess maybe he lost a lot of money. You know, he stole that screenplay idea from that kid, Frankie Muniz, at one point, and he probably lost everything in his whole career. He really needed that big fat liar. He got to get his due. Yeah, so we went with the same as you guys, and I think we were waiting until SAG on Saturday night to see where they were going. That was going to push it because SAG is the strongest stat of the four here. 79%. They've had 2 misses in 7 years. Most recent one, obviously, was the big one with Chadwick Boseman and Anthony Hopkins a few years ago. But like, they have SAG, and then Murphy also won BAFTA, Golden Globe in the drama category. It's like he has the more bigger awards. Giamatti, yeah, he won a Critics' Choice, but it was for the musical or comedy category. The Golden Globe. The Critics' Choice was Best Actor, but it's like, okay, you got some. It's nice, but like Murphy has taken the bigger ones, the stronger ones. As Rojas mentions, it's Oppenheimer. It's going to be an Oppenheimer night. He's Oppenheimer. But yeah, it was down to SAG, and I really thought it could have been like an Austin Butler, Brendan Fraser kind of moment from last year, back and forth. Oh, I got these 2 awards. I got these 2 awards. Where is it going to go? It went with what SAG did last year. Fraser won SAG. He won the Oscar. So, boom, there we go. Yeah. I think the next one of the 4 is the maybe toss-up of the night. So I'm really curious if we match on this one, or if maybe it's going to come down to this. Best Actress.
And the nominees for Best Actress are Annette Bening, Naiad, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Huller, Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan, Maestro, and Emma Stone, Poor Things.
All right, Kyle, where are we going?
So our dark horse is Emma Stone, and our will win is Lily Gladstone. So
before we get into stats, I just want to rip the Band-Aid off. Let's just do it. Are you guys matching with us?
Get this. We're matching.
All right, sorry, Kyle, I cut you off. Why did we go with this? It's just a very unique pick that no one else has.
Yeah, well, I think Lily Gladstone has a great story behind not only the great performance, so I think that's going to push in her favor. Emma Stone is really, really good in Poor Things, especially with what she has to do. But I just think it's going to be Lily Gladstone.
Yeah. I think going into this, it was a lot of momentum was happening for Emma Stone. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the support was dying down for Lily. And even just Killers of the Flower Moon. It was like, Apple, for your consideration events, where's the budget? Like, where are we doing here? Because Lily, only had National Board of Review. She got the Golden Globe. And then that was like it. The hype was dying. And Emma was like, all right, she picks up the Critics' Choice over Lily. She gets the Golden Globe. She wins the BAFTA. And Lily wasn't even nominated. So it's like, the momentum was there. But then Saturday night, it all came back, roaring back for Lily Gladstone. She wins SAG Actress. That's a 72% match. And she has like a huge moment during the ceremony. People are in love with them, just the win, and voting's still happening. So I think maybe the BAFTA snub may have helped. It's just like, again, a snub there. Well, we're going to have this moment here. It's who knows exactly what happened, but to me, it's like looking at this, it's almost like the exact story and like hardware as last year. Michelle Yeoh was the bigger story over Cate Blanchett, who already had Oscar wins. Emma Stone already has a few Oscar wins. Blanchett had BAFTA, Critics' Choice, Golden Globe, just like, Emma Stone. But Michelle Yeoh has National Board of Review, Golden Globe, and SAG, just like Michelle Yeoh. So it's like the exact same thing. We all know what happened last year Michelle Yeoh won. So I think just like between the story and between the hardware and between the stats and between all that, that's why we went with Lily Gladstone. Did I take all the thunder, Rojas? Do you have anything else there, or did I just exhaust it?
Honestly, it was just more of the human interest thing. I was driving into work today. I said, because I've read the Oscar Wars book, and I'm thinking, you know what? Let's just this is art. It's not objective. It's subjective. Let's recognize Lily Gladstone for an amazing performance. Emma Stone's won it before. Not to say like she's fantastic. And again, like we're trying to decide a winner between two things that are not comparable.
Very strong.
Yeah. It's not like I played darts and hit the bullseye twice and you hit it 3 times and you win. You know what I mean? Like, so
Well,
I
to Dave's
think Lily
point
should win.
too, I'll say following along on the internet, Emma Stone had a lot of praise and hype, especially either pre-reviews when it was like people who had early screenings. They were saying, wow, amazing, you got to go see this. But that momentum died. I thought that momentum came to a halt right before award season. So just to reinforce everything we've all said, it's Lily Gladstone time. Like Emma Stone was getting her praise, but that kind of, fizzled out.
It was like this like weird, like I feel like Lily Gladstone started, and then when hers was going down, Emma Stone rose, but then who comes back up? It's Lily Gladstone. Like it's all about timing.
Yes.
With these awards, you don't want to peak too soon. You don't want to peak. It's like the right moment. It just has to connect. Planets align, and I think it's going to align for Lily Gladstone.
And we agree.
Yeah. And one last thing, I think Lily Gladstone was fantastic and deserves this by like hands down. But I will say, I just saw Poor Things last week. Emma Stone like crushed it. Like honestly, like the acting she does in it is phenomenal. And the reason being is because she has to experience first for everything. And I write that in my review that like the first time walking outside, the first time interacting with somebody, having a disagreement with somebody, like, and so to like really hone into all that stuff is like really, you got to commend her on those talents. But I mean, you're going against Lily Gladstone and an incredible story and actress as she is. I mean, I can see a world where the Oscars wants to give Emma Stone the award, but Lily should win this, like hands down.
Yeah. It's a very tough category, especially between those two. But yeah, we're matching. I bet we're going to match on this next one. If we get to the end here and it's only America Ferrera, that's going to be the one thing. And if you guys win because of that, it's going to, I won't be able to take it. We might have to break our rules and like share our technical ones at the end. Just real quick, just back and forth. Wait, what are you talking about? This is my podcast.
We're on their show.
What are you going to do?
We got to give the audience something here. They have to at least have some rooting interest. It's like, they don't match on costume design. They have something, to root for here because let's go to director. I wonder where you're going to go for director.
And the nominees for Best Director are Justine Triet, Anatomy of a Fall, Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos, Poor Things, and Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest.
All right, you guys are going to reveal Best Director.
All right, well,
where are you going?
Christopher Nolan is going to win Best Director. Finally, after all these years, dark horse, Yorgos Lanthimos. Sorry, Yorgos will win at some point, but not on March 10th. Let me guess what you guys picked.
Well, I will tell you, we actually differ a tiny bit.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't matter because the will win is Christopher Nolan. So we put down Martin Scorsese as a dark horse. You could have picked any of them, I think. I think you could have picked Jonathan Glazer. I saw some support for that, for The Zone of Interest. There's a lot of support for that film. Yorgos is a great pick.
Yeah, it is.
With Poor Things. It's just, I mean, I don't know if it's not going to be Nolan. I mean, there's a lot of love for the legend that is Martin Scorsese. Like, and for that film, like if you're going to reward somebody for that film outside of Lily, it's going to be the director and it's Martin Scorsese. But it doesn't matter. It's Nolan. I mean, it's BAFTA, Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, and the big one, the Directors Guild. The Directors Guild matches 90% of the time. The last time it missed was 2019. I think we talked about Sam Mendes, I believe, was the miss there with the Oscars. But it's also, this is his time narrative. Like he has 5 previous Oscar nominations, 8 total. This only is actually second for director. The other one was for Dunkirk. So it's Dunkirk and Oppenheimer. He's going to win it for Oppenheimer. Do you guys think that's the film he should win it for? Was there another film in his filmography that he deserved to have gotten the director for first? Or is this kind of like the Departed thing for Martin Scorsese, where it's like, yeah, I mean, you should have gotten it all these other times, but we'll give it for this one. What do you guys think?
I'll just briefly say, I think this is like the first movie of his that I think is there's no detractors. I think there have been detractors with everything he's made since The Dark Knight. So if you had to pick one, I'd say Dark Knight. I don't know if Marc and Boyle feel any different.
Well, it's been well publicized that I am not an Inception guy.
What?
Wow.
Not, yep. Mm-mm. So, it's time, to give the man his hardware.
I actually had it written down on my thing. I'm like, he missed it in 2011 for Inception. He got a nomination for picture and screenplay, but that was such an amazing film year. If you look at who the directors were, it was the directors of Black Swan, The Fighter, the Coen brothers for True Grit,
that movie was
David
wild.
Fincher for The Social Network.
All better. All much better.
The winner was the Cats director, Tom Hooper, for The King's Speech. But outside of
that was
great category.
Wait a minute.
That Oscar year should burn in hell, man. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Break that one down.
That's crazy.
You have Darren Aronofsky, the Coen brothers, David Fincher, Christopher Nolan, and you give it to, okay, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that one. But, yeah, they should revoke it after Cats. It came out. It's like,
They really should.
We screwed up.
God.
We screwed up. We saw your other work. But all right, yeah, I don't know what else to say with this. It's Christopher Nolan. He's gonna win. This is his time for Oppenheimer.
It's about time for him, because I've been a big fan of his. I think ever since I've realized it was him who made The Dark Knight, and just knowing how much care he takes in making his movies, and then going back and watching the rest of his catalog, and then being at the IMAX theater every premiere night ever since then. So I'm a big fan.
Absolutely. Same. And I feel like, not that he's got snubbed in other areas, but I think to your point earlier, or your question earlier, Dave, I think this is just his best movie where, Nick, I guess you kind of said it too, there's no qualms with it. There's no problems. It's so well done. And it's such a movie where you don't have to think to understand, which can deter a lot of people with Inception and Tenet and all those. It's not a superhero movie too, which nothing against that, but sometimes obviously we know that the Oscars don't want to acknowledge that too. So, besides Dark Knight. So it's now wait, did Interstellar win? This is just as it didn't, right? So again, it just shows it was a great movie, but it's not for everyone. I just feel like this movie's just so well-rounded and can just be taken by anyone. And it's just so well done. He just does everything in it just so perfect. And I'll never forget that scene where it's just the fire black and it's silent in the theater. You could hear someone breathe sitting next to you. It was so quiet, and that intensity. It was just, such a great experience.
Talking a lot about the movie. Let's talk about the last category of the night, Best Picture. Let's do it.
And the films nominated for Best Picture are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
All right. Oh boy, where are we going, Kyle? Where could we possibly go for our will win?
So our will win is Oppenheimer, and our dark horse is Poor Things.
Oh, well, we differ a little.
Uh-oh.
Definitely have Oppenheimer as our will win, but our dark horse, we put The Holdovers, according to Nick's theory.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, you know what? It should be Godzilla -1. I think we all agree.
Wait, that deserves props.
Yeah, that's what it should be. But, whatever. You guys pick your film.
They're not allowing write-ins on the ballot.
Yeah,
Marc's upset.
Ridiculous.
Erroneous.
Kyle,
Well, I mean, I agree with them. I think with this ranked choice voting, it could be a scenario where
I got the text receipts. You wanted Barbie as the dark horse.
I said Barbie could be in there, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, anything
I
could
think
be
the
in there.
holdovers is a possibility too. I really
think-
do.
yeah.
I think it is a possibility. Just because it was a well-liked movie by a lot of people.
No, definitely. The holdovers is definitely an option. Barbie's an option, as we talked about with like the Argo snub. There's so many options for the dark horse, but I really think, again, it doesn't matter. I think it's Oppenheimer. It's just it'd be a shock. And I'll run through my stats just if you indulge me for a minute, because I did the research and it's not going to matter because it's we're matching here, but. Obviously dominated the box office, dominated the precursors. It led with 5 wins at the Golden Globes, including Best Film Drama. Led with 7 wins at the BAFTAs, including Best Film. Led with 8 wins at the Critics' Choice, including Best Ensemble, Best Picture. It's guaranteed to pick up other hardware. Robert Downey Jr. is winning, Nolan for director's winning, possibly Best Actor, possibly Screenplay, many of the below-the-line awards. And it has the trifecta of all 3 guilds, Directors Guild, SAG, and Producers Guild. And while SAG is the weakest of the 3 guilds, predicting it, actors make up the largest branch of the Academy. They have a 50% track record overall, especially with this new ballot, preferential ballot era. But it's the Producers Guild. And that happened last night. They have the same preferential ballot system as the Oscars. So it was universally liked at the Producers Guild, probably will be universally liked with the Academy. In the 28-year history, only one film has ever won all 3 DGA, PGA, SAG, and then lost Best Picture. And that was 28 years ago, the very first year, with Apollo 13.
Ooh.
So It would be a big historic night if it doesn't win. I guess the only, stat against it is I like to bring up, it has the most Oscar nominations this year with 13. Most nominations don't always equal wins. Last year, that was broken with Everything Everywhere All at Once. But before that, Power of the Dog went 1 for 12. Mank went 2 for 10, Irishman 0 for 10, and the year before that, Roma 3 out of 10. So it's like, sometimes it's like you have a film like Coda, it has 3 total noms and wins all 3, including Best Picture. So that's where I was like, okay, that's Oppenheimer. Dark Horse doesn't matter. We went with Poor Things. It was like the second place of the season. It had 5 BAFTAs, 2 Golden Globes, second total Oscar noms. It's just like,
next year, Dave, I'm like. Oppenheimer's here for Best Picture. Next year, they're doing the Best Blockbuster, right? They are introducing that next year, right? Or is that still what if?
I think that's Golden Globes.
Yeah, I know Golden Globes introduced that.
So my thought was, if that's a case, like if that ever does get introduced, like does Oppenheimer still stay under Best Picture, or would it get the different nom? But that's a different show then. Never mind.
They are going to introduce, I believe, it might be in 2 years for the films that come out next year. Is the best casting.
Yeah.
But it's like casting, and that's where it's going to be like a very interesting award. We'll see how they do it, because it's supposed to be like for the casting director, not necessarily an ensemble or like the best film award. Like if it's just going to be the best picture again for the best ensemble, it's like it should be 2 separate things. Right. But we'll see what they end up doing.
Could you ever see Christopher Nolan being like, yeah, I'll take the best blockbuster? It's like, no, I am an artist. Give me the damn. Don't give me the BS award.
Like Michael Bay, like that's who he was made for.
It's the Razzies. It's Meg 2, The Trench.
Yes, exactly.
I have one more stat I'll read off, and then we can talk about some of the other, Best Picture nominees here. While it was broken in that, crazy asterisk pandemic year with Coda, usually 95% of Best Picture winners have a director's nom, 95% have a screenplay nom, and then 83% have a film editing nom. There's 4 films that have it this year: Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. And I think Anatomy is too small. I think the hype on Killers of Flower Moon died, so that's where I went with, okay, Poor Things. It got the love in all the other categories, and director. Only 5 films get nominated in director. It got the nominations in editing. It has a love all across the board. So, but again, I don't think it matters. I think it's Oppenheimer for the will win. Is there any other thoughts on the other Best Picture nominees while we're here? Anything else you want to talk about that we haven't talked about? We can.
The only case that could be made is going back to one of your earlier points, guys. If this is an Argo situation where they felt bad that Ben Affleck got snubbed, and all of a sudden we're seeing Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach on stage, and Margot Robbie holding the gold statuette because they wanted to make up for that. That's the only out there thing I could see. But I mean, this is going to be the first time since Return of the King where we have a blockbuster win Best Picture.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it affects the ratings too. I mean, they always are complaining about like the rating stuff. It's like you have, at least 2 films that made pretty much $1 billion with Oppenheimer and Barbie with leading nominations. If people aren't tuning in, they're just not going to be tuning in, period. And especially when it's going to be a night when Oppenheimer is going to dominate. That's incentive enough. Sometimes you get a film like, oh, how many people saw Nomadland? Probably not that many. It's like, oh, ratings are down. It's like everyone saw Oppenheimer. Everyone saw Barbie. Like,
that's true. The weird one for me this year is Bradley Cooper's Maestro. I just like
talk about Maestro.
It's
retweet. I'm with you, but please continue.
It's fine, but it's like, why? Why this person? Why was this your
magnum opus?
Yeah, the thing that you wanted to. I'm confused all the way around. I don't get it. I think it was Oscar baity. It was just too much.
Bad timing. Talk about bad timing.
Right
you
after
lined it
Tar,
up with Oppenheimer. Dude, you're not winning this one, and it's been clear how much effort he put into that movie, that project, really all out. That was the artist in Bradley Cooper, putting his heart and soul into it, and the timing couldn't be worse.
I know.
Like your point too, it definitely Oscar baity, and wow, did he just get absolutely smoked when it comes to award season? Dude, we're sorry. You should have waited for a different year or something. But it's not happening.
It definitely was Oscar bait the movie. And I remember talking with, I think, on the podcast, probably with you, Kyle, with this film is just I could never fully connect into the film. While technically it was good. Yeah. The acting was good, the directing was good,
production
cinematography,
design,
all the stuff was there. All the elements were there. They just all didn't come together for me because I was just like, oh, you're doing that because you want an Oscar. Oh, you're going, you're overacting here because you want an Oscar. Oh, you did this tracking shot because you want it just felt like you're just trying too hard, dude. Just
like checking the Oscar boxes.
Yeah.
I need this. Okay, there it is.
I got to make sure the film is in black and white. I got to make sure we have this. I got to make sure we have it's just there's too many things. It was just I don't know. It felt hollow and I could never fully connect with the story. And I almost feel like the film should have focused on a section of his life because it was just too broad to squeeze all that in. And there was points where we were jumping around and it's like we kind of skipped over some important moments in his life and how that affected his relationship. And we're already at the outcome of that instead of how it, you know what I mean? We got the solution, but we didn't get the setup. It was, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the music the whole time, and then we barely get the music except for one. That always upsets me too.
I also love that it was literally 10 minutes left in the film, and we get an old Leonard Bernstein just sweaty, coked up out of his mind, just dancing. I'm like, Jesus, man, what a way to end this. Oh my gosh.
My girlfriend goes, wait, is this the same movie? This was in black and white. I'm like, oh, it's the same movie.
Yeah.
This is the same movie.
Oh, man.
Oh.
I'll bring one other movie up that's getting a little bit of buzz. Iron Claw.
Oh, okay.
That was speculated to, have award buzz, all that jazz, and it's just nowhere to be seen on awards night. I'll say that, a very small minority are very upset. Oh, how could you not, give this any nods or awards? I kind of put that in the same category as Maestro, where I think they were really going for, some awards and just came up hollow. Like Dave said, it's just it wasn't all there. Zac Efron, really great job in his role. But, just clearly not enough. It didn't have that, extra oomph behind it to get the nod for awards season. It's just not there.
I think it was a little bit of timing too. It's just like, again, it was slowly coming out into theaters in that like late December time. And it's like, you got to come out earlier to get the buzz building, to get those early awards, the Golden Globes, those nominations, so you can have a staying power throughout the race. It just took too long to get out there. And maybe it's like someone with like A24, like, they did well with Everything Everywhere All at Once last year, but like maybe they were focusing on Past Lives and some of their other films and that buzz and that momentum. And it's like, oh, what about me? What about me? And like they forgot about that film, because I've heard great things about it. I haven't seen it yet, because again, just let me see movies. That's the thing I want to say here. Like, this is the first year doing this podcast where normally I come in seeing all the Best Picture nominees before we record this, but I didn't get to see American Fiction. I didn't get to see The Zone of Interest because right now they just put them up to buy on video on demand. It's like, well, I'm not buying these films. I'm not made of money. Like, let me rent it. Let me stream it. Let me just somehow see this movie. And, I don't need to own the movie. I just want to see it. But maybe at some point I'll be able to check them out. But I think like stuff like that, I think hurts some of these films. Like, you want the buzz, you want the word of mouth, you want to stand out, and some of those, yeah. But I think real quick, what I want to do, we've never done this before, like on the podcast, because I said, oh, we're going to do it on a ballot, and you can look at our picks and their picks, at a different time later. But with us matching pretty much on everything here except for two dark horses, I just want to see where else we match and maybe where we differ on the podcast. We won't have to get in depth because we'll save that for like the mini thing. I just kind of want to run through them here real quick. I want to start. I'm going to go just, let's see here. I think it's in the order I sent it to you guys, and we can just run through it. Give me what you guys have for best cinematography.
Oppenheimer.
Yep, we have Oppenheimer. Let's give me costume design.
What do you guys want to go? I'll do it. Barbie.
Yep, we match. Editing.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. All right, I'll give some too, so you don't think like we're cheating here. It's all locked in. But makeup and hair, we have Maestro.
Same.
Okay. Production design, we have Barbie.
Yep.
As do we.
Oh my god. Score, we have Oppenheimer.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
For song, what do you have?
Come down to song. What was I made for? Barbie.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh no. Okay.
Sound, we have Oppenheimer.
Same.
Let me do. I'm gonna save one to the end. Maybe that'll be the last one. Animated feature. What do you guys have?
Spider-Verse.
Yep. The doc, we have 20 Days in Maripol.
Oh,
I didn't fill what.
Doc. Sorry.
Oh,
I didn't fill that one out.
Oh, that's okay. We could skip that one. Do you have an international feature?
Yes.
You do.
Zone of
What do you got?
interest.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So we have one category
So it's
here.
going to come down to America Ferrera.
Yeah. Visual effects. What do you guys have?
Mark, go
You know
for
what
it.
we have.
That's
Godzilla minus
That's
one.
going to be
This is
the
it.
one, dude.
No
I'm
way.
telling you.
This is the
Here
year
we
we
go.
win. You don't beat Godzilla.
You don't beat it. Not this one.
So we
This is our year.
We did it finally.
So we have the creator. I will say
The creator. You
prognosticators
fool.
were
It's Godzilla
predicting
minus
Godzilla. They were predicting Godzilla. Kyle told me in the text chain, he's like, I don't see them giving it to Godzilla. and he pushed me thinking it's the creator. So this will be the
The
one.
king of the
This
monsters.
Godzilla's got the biggest push I've ever seen a Godzilla movie get since we've been alive.
Kyle, if you screwed us this
I
year.
mean, I might have screwed us. I just don't see 85-year-old people voting for Godzilla. I just don't.
But Kyle, this movie has gone
That's
back
fair.
to the
That's
theaters
fair.
in different modes like 3 times.
Oh
They
my
sent it back in
god.
black and white.
Yeah,
Dude,
they
you're
were like, now let's do
screwed.
it black and white.
We're
People are
back.
like, we're still in.
Wow.
All right, I want to put
Kyle
a
might
pin
be
in
right.
this
So
one.
excited.
We're
If we had
doing
the
a
edge
mini
with
episode.
Godzilla, I'll be so
We're doing a mini
excited.
episode on this one. That's for
If
sure.
We finally get over the edge, and it's all thanks to Godzilla. I will be the happiest person on the planet.
Oh my god.
We'll have
This
to have
is gonna
DR
be-
dress up as Godzilla's.
Yeah.
That might be-
We have to do a podcast dressed up as Godzilla's.
Okay.
we go.
Okay. We got something for the listeners to be, I guess, rooting for or against with visual effects and America Ferrera. That's
It's going to be like the
something.
first 10 minutes, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
So we'll dive into that category a bit more in a mini episode, which we'll post on social media. But that's all we got for tonight. That's all the time we have for this week's episode. Let's see here. Next week, or I guess next month on the podcast, we have a lot coming up. Of course, we're going to recap the Oscars. We're also going to talk about maybe next year's Oscars winner in Dune Part 2. And we have a show on Netflix coming out, The Three-Body Problem, from the creators of Game of Thrones on HBO. So we got a lot to talk about in movies and TV in the next few weeks here on the podcast. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the blog, doredundancy.com, on Twitch, twitch.tv/doredundancy. We've been going live on both Twitch and on YouTube, and you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok at doredundancy. We're going to post those special mini episodes with more predictions and with the reasoning behind those predictions on our social media pages. But first, I want to hear what is coming up for you guys on The Good, the Bad, and the Watchable.
I think we're going to do a little refresher for everyone on the movies that we've seen that are nominated for Best Picture that we've kind of caught up on in the past month. January, February, that's our big catch-up season for all the movies that we missed in the fall. So going to fill everyone in on our thoughts, maybe a little bit more in depth, and Boyle's going to take the lead on that one. Thank you, Boyle.
Of course. And we've got Dune 2 this Sunday that Rojas and I are going to. And if Marc can make it, he'll join us as well.
Sounds like a good time. Where are you guys? I mean, I'm sure it's on all the podcasting platforms, but what's the best way to follow and keep up with what you guys are doing?
I'd say Spotify, because where we upload it is a Spotify app. We upload it there, and it also goes to Apple Podcasts as well. Wherever you find podcasts, I'm sure you can find The Good, the Bad, the Watchable.
Awesome. Well, I got to thank all three of you guys for joining us tonight. It's always a blast having you on, talking movies, talking Oscars, doing this prediction, with you. This has been year 7. It's wild to do this with you guys for so long. I really got to special thank you to John tonight. A lot of moving parts, a lot of things I threw at him. Hey, here are some images. Oh, can you make this? Oh, can you pull this audio? Can you put all this together? Have 6 streams going on at once with all these images. Couldn't do this show without John. Thank you so much, John, for doing all this and directing the show tonight on YouTube and on Twitch.
Sure.
And Kyle, you were here. Thanks.
Yeah. Made the worst choice of all time.
You may have cost us this bet this year. But we'll see. It's all good. It's
I
all
literally
good
saw
fun.
Dave start sweating.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
That was the one.
I'm going to be so happy if it's Godzilla who
I'm going to
finally
screenshot
wins
the
it
text
for
now
us.
so I don't miss it. Yeah.
Like, this isn't just any win, it's a Godzilla win. Which is a win for us. Oh,
So
man.
good.
That's
All
what
right.
you needed.
Well,
You needed the power of Godzilla to really overtake us.
to beat us, yeah.
Once and for all.
yeah. Maybe I don't know how did Kong versus Godzilla end? Like, do we come back as Kong next year and defeat you guys? Like, we'll see. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We still could win this.
I mean,
But
yeah.
Until next time, I'm David Allen.
I'm John Berwick.
I'm Kyle Bridger.
I'm Nick Rojas.
I'm Nick Boyle.
I'm Godzilla, king of the monsters.
And that's all we got for Do Redundancy's 13th annual Oscar prediction special. Goodbye, everybody.